It was the loudest sound and the brightest light I have ever heard and seen in my life. Like it it happened simultaneously, so it was like the sound and the light, almost like it felt like I was going blind, but from the opposite extreme, like not darkness, but total blinding like white. I could see nothing but that whiteness, and then that's all I remember from it. The weather was really clear in the morning, so I didn't know there was a storm coming. Hiking on the Appalachian Trail, we don't really get a lot of weather reports because we're not day hikers, so we're hiking and just hit the weather as it comes. I ran into the storm on the way up, and I holed out at a shelter with several other people, and it looked like the storm had passed. That's when I decided that I had stayed at the shelter too long. I was never going to make the next shelter, so I was going to hike back down into town, and that's when I got hit. I left the shelter. My next memory is actually the sound and the light. My memory after that is waking up against a tree, and then I hitchhiked out the road and got a ride to a hospital or something. At that point, I couldn't walk by the time I got to the hospital. I remember the intense pain. Like it was so bad, I was screaming. Like it felt like I was burning, like you couldn't get the fire off me. Like that's what it felt like. The recovery was really, really hard. I was in the hospital and I still had this very optimistic feeling that I was going to get fixed really quickly and go finish my hike. The most painful part of my recovery at the hospital was them actually having to pry my fingers open on my hand because my hand was still fused together. They had to put it in a special cast, to keep it from going back in. And still to this day, I still, sometimes my hand will still go in that position and I have to physically do it. It doesn't hurt anymore. It's just the leg that hurts. And that actually didn't hurt at all in the hospital. This is something that's progressed and it's continued to progress throughout the years. The recovery at home was a lot longer, months probably, before I was able to walk without the use of an aid or anything like that. As far as the mental aspect of getting struck, I am a totally different person than I was, before I got hit. I feel I'm a much calmer person. I have a better outlook on life because I think I survived something that is not very survivable. And I think that just kind of it made me appreciate things a lot more. Some of the biggest misunderstandings that people have is just how differently it affects everybody. It's not like I got in a car accident, because that's very straightforward. You got in a car accident, so that's very easy to explain to someone versus that guy who videotaped his shoes getting smoked, or someone who is sitting in a wheelchair. That's two completely different things, but they both got struck by lightning. As far as my friends and family go, I love them dearly, but it was such a rare thing to happen to somebody that they couldn't help themselves but to say, this is Becky and she got struck by lightning. People don't go around introducing their friends like, hi, this is John, he got into a really bad car accident last year. You don't define your friends by the tragic events that happen in their lives. It's hard for me to talk about it because I get lots of questions, but I don't want to be that person who got struck by lightning. I want to be that person who did this really great thing, or who was very successful in school or something like that. I don't want to be Becky struck by lightning.